If you're like me, you grew up with the understanding that breakfast was the most important meal of your day. But is that a fact or a myth? In this video, we will dive into breakfast to find out if it is necessary to rev up your metabolism and prevent muscle loss. And we'll also take a look at the research to see if there is any truth to the thought that skipping breakfast backfires, causing you to overeat later in the day. The comment I hear most often is that breakfast is necessary to jumpstart your metabolism. But is eating what really wakes us up and gets our metabolic engine going? The answer to that is no. The metabolic wake-up call that we receive is orchestrated by a complex ensemble of nerve and hormone interactions that begin to stir a few hours before you rise. This sophisticated network of events raises your body temperature and blood pressure and boosts a host of wake-up hormones, including cortisol. Now, you can argue that we get a metabolic boost from eating, and this is true because the digestion of food is a very energy-demanding process. That process produces heat, which is a reaction referred to as the thermic effect of food, and that effect will lift your metabolism above what is normal for your body. But the increase is more of a bump rather than a spike. So breakfast is not the metabolic jumpstart that we thought it was at one time. There is also a belief that skipping breakfast causes a rebound effect that makes you overeat later in the day. It seems logical that if you skip breakfast, your hunger will be greater at lunchtime compared to days when you don't have something to eat in the morning. It is also logical that the hungrier you are, the more calories you'll consume. And there is research that supports the assertion that we eat more at lunch when we skip breakfast. But the extra lunchtime calories might not be enough to match the calories you missed out on by skipping breakfast. In fact, there seems to be little evidence that skipping breakfast contributes to more calories consumed over the course of the day, and it might even reduce your overall calorie intake. Another concern that you may have about skipping a meal like breakfast is that it will push your body into starvation mode and cause you to lose muscle. A study published in Nutrition Reviews helps us understand the relationship between periods of fasting and body composition. What we see is that fasting can result in the appearance of more urea nitrogen, which is a waste product that forms when your body breaks down proteins like the ones that we have in our muscles. However, that increase does not show up until a person has been fasting for days. So the very brief fast that you perform by skipping breakfast will not break down your muscle. What that short fast will do is cause your body to pull energy out of the natural reserves that you carry with you from glycogen and fat. In other words, your body will burn glucose and fat before turning to muscle. So we see from the research that the importance of breakfast is not as ironclad as we once thought it to be. But the studies presented in this video looked at adult participants. What about kids? Is it okay for children to skip breakfast? The answer to that question takes some more investigating. There are studies on preschool children that show that regular breakfast eaters weigh less than those that skip breakfast, and school-age children do better in school when they eat in the morning. It's also worth noting that a child's body uses calories for growth, so it is possible that children get more advantages from eating breakfast than adults. However, it's also worth noting that studies on children rely on things like surveys and observations to draw their conclusions. It's not easy to perform sophisticated studies on children that would involve requiring a group of kids to skip breakfast to see if it's harmful. So without that more conclusive look, we can't be certain that the positive results we see in young breakfast eaters are due to the breakfast alone, or if there are other health habits that they might have in common that are contributing to the result. We also see from this discussion that many of the reasons we have for eating breakfast are not rooted in science, but rather sound bites that we have been taught for so long that we have adopted them as fact. Yet that doesn't mean that everyone should be skipping breakfast. If you are taking a medication that requires eating food in the morning, then breakfast is the right choice for you. You might also find skipping breakfast to be unwise if you don't feel good or experience low blood sugar, shakiness, or fatigue when you skip it. Skipping breakfast has become a topic of interest thanks to the popularity of intermittent fasting, which is a weight loss and health strategy that involves splitting your day between a period of eating and fasting. I have several videos here on YouTube that you can find on my channel page if you would like to learn more about intermittent fasting. You can also find free resources on my website, drbeckyfitness.com, that I invite you to check out. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.